Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Imagine holding a piece of history in your hands, a coin that tells the story of America's evolving culture, economy, and values. Now, imagine that this coin is not just a reminder of the past but an object worth a staggering $126,000. Yes, the 1973 USA $quarter coin is one of those rare, timeless treasures, and today, we're diving deep into its story, how it came to be, its design, its minting process, and the incredible value it holds today. Let's take a step back, all the way to 1973, a year that was pivotal for so many reasons, especially in the context of America's economic and political landscape. The world was witnessing major global shifts, with the United States grappling with the aftermath of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal that would soon shake the foundations of its political establishment. Yet, amid this turbulent backdrop, something as small and simple as a $quarter coin was being minted in the U.S., unaware of the legacy it would one day hold. At this time, coins were a reflection of American resilience, designed to withstand the test of time. Just like the country itself, the 1973 quarter isn't just any ordinary coin. It's part of a series of quarters that started being minted in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. The Washington quarter, which had been in circulation for over 4 decades, was well known and well loved, but little did anyone know that this particular quarter from 1973 would carry with it a story so unique that it would end up being worth more than any other piece of currency from that era. When we talk about the design of the 1973 quarter, it's easy to overlook the details. After all, it seems like any other quarter with George Washington's familiar profile on the obverse, the side of the coin you see when you flip it. But there's so much more beneath that surface. The Washington quarter itself, designed by artist John Flanagan, first debuted in 1932 to mark Washington's 200th birthday. The 1973 design was just an updated version, slightly refined, but still adhering to the iconic features that made it recognizable. What sets the 1973 quarter apart, however, is its specific characteristics. As the coin circulated through everyday life, passed from hand to hand, used for purchases, tossed into vending machines, and saved in pockets, it was stamped with precision at the U.S. Mint. The minting of these coins is something that collectors often overlook, but it plays a massive role in determining the coin's future value. The 1973 quarter was minted in several locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, which is where the story gets interesting. You see, certain mint marks on the 1973 quarters make them far rarer than others. While most of these coins were produced in large quantities, those minted in San Francisco were special because they were part of a proof set, designed for collectors and not meant for regular circulation. These proof coins were struck multiple times to ensure a mirror-like finish, making them stand out from the average circulating coin. But there's one specific variation of the 1973 quarter that caught the attention of serious collectors. It wasn't the typical proof coin or the regular issue version. No, this one had something else, a small error that would take years to be discovered, a mistake that, once unearthed, would turn this otherwise ordinary coin into a goldmine. This coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint and holds the distinction of being a rare error coin with a noticeable doubling of the date on the obverse side, 1973. It was a result of a die that had been improperly prepared before the coin was struck, leading to this doubling effect, an error that makes it one of the most valuable quarters to ever be produced. At first glance, most people might have missed the mistake, but for eagle-eyed collectors, this was a jackpot waiting to be discovered. Now, imagine a coin that was produced in an era of massive production runs, one that had such an imperfection and yet, over time, would become so sought after. As collectors began noticing the 1973 double die error, the price began to climb, slowly at first, and then rapidly as more and more collectors started looking for this rare variation. The appeal of this coin wasn't just in its rarity or its unique error. It was also about the history it represented, the year, the minting process, the unique set of circumstances that led to this mistake. Fast forward a few decades, and the 1973 quarter's legacy had become more than just an error coin in circulation. It became a part of the numismatic community's most coveted list of items, especially for those who specialized in error coins and rare finds. The value of this specific 1973 quarter has increased over time, especially when found in near mint or mint condition. In fact, it's one of the most valuable coins of the 20th century, with only a small handful of collectors being lucky enough to possess this piece of history. Now, if you've been wondering how much a 1973 quarter could be worth today, here's where the story reaches its climax. While the typical 1973 quarter, found in circulation, is worth only 25 cents, the error coin with the double die, if it's in top condition, can fetch an astounding price at auction.so. Hold on to your seats, because here comes the big reveal. The 1973 quarter dollar with the rare double die error has been sold for as much as $126,000. Yes, you heard that right, $126,000. This is not a price that you'll find for every 1973 quarter, but for those lucky enough to come across one of these double die error coins in perfect condition, it's a mind-blowing amount of money. But why is this coin worth so much? It's simple. The rarity of the error, combined with the high demand for rare and unique coins in the collector market, drives the price to astronomical heights. There's only a small number of these coins in existence, and as collectors race to acquire them, the value continues to rise. So, next time you look at a 1973 quarter, remember that it could be more than just pocket change. You could be holding a piece of history, a treasure that tells the story of America's past and has the potential to make you a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone with an eye for unique finds, always remember that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones you least expect. The 1973 quarter dollar coin is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary object can carry so much historical and financial significance, and there you have it. From a year of political unrest and global change, to a small coin minted in Philadelphia, the story of the 1973 quarter dollar coin is one that showcases how rarity, history, and a little bit of luck can combine to make something truly extraordinary. Whether you're looking to expand your collection or simply intrigued by the remarkable journey of this iconic coin, remember, its value is more than just the money it represents. It's a testament to the power of history and the pursuit of treasure. So, if you ever come across a 1973 quarter, take a closer look. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. It's hard to believe that a simple coin like the 1984 USA quarter dollar could hold a story that's filled with history, intrigue, and, of course, impressive value. Picture this: a shiny quarter, once used to buy a pack of gum or pay for a bus ride, now valued at $115,000. How did this happen? What makes the 1984 quarter so special? Today, we're diving into the fascinating tale behind this coin, from its creation to its hidden treasures, and ultimately, the incredible price it commands in the world of coin collectors. Let's rewind to 1984. The world was in the midst of a dynamic time. Ronald Reagan was serving his second term as President of the United States, and the economy was in a period of growth following the economic downturns of the 1970s. The United States was experiencing a cultural shift, with the rise of personal computing, the launch of the first Apple Macintosh, and the global impact of the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. These were transformative years that marked a shift in American identity, and while all of these big moments were happening, something as seemingly small as a quarter was being minted with an enduring legacy. The 1984 quarter was not radically different from other quarters in terms of design. In fact, it was part of the regular series of quarters in circulation, featuring the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, the side of the coin that bears the face of the first President of the United States. This design, crafted by John Flanagan in 1932, had become iconic and was a permanent fixture on the quarter dollar coin for decades. the reverse of the 1984 quarter was no different from that of the previous years. It depicted a simple eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch. The symbolism of the eagle was unmistakable. It represented strength, unity, and the ideals of the United States. But while this image was consistent across many years, there was something going on behind the scenes in the minting process that would eventually make the 1984 quarter stand out. While the general design remained unchanged, the minting process of coins, especially in the early 1980s, was far from simple. The United States Mint, the agency responsible for producing coinage, had to ensure that millions of coins were struck with precision and accuracy. In 1984, coins were minted in large quantities at various locations across the United States, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While most of the quarters produced that year were meant for regular circulation, something unique occurred during this minting process. A very specific error was made, and it would take years for collectors to fully understand just how rare and valuable that mistake was. The error in question? A subtle but fascinating minting flaw in the 1984 quarter would later become the centerpiece of a numismatic phenomenon. Some 1984 quarters were struck with an extremely rare die crack. This die crack, which appeared on the reverse of the coin, was the result of a small fracture in the minting die. It was a flaw that most people would never have noticed at first glance, but for the keen eye of a coin collector, it was an undeniable sign of rarity. Over time, as collectors began to seek out coins with unique imperfections, these die-crack 1984 quarters gained attention, and with it, their value began to rise. Now, it's easy to see why collectors were drawn to the 1984 quarter. The die crack made these coins particularly rare, but rarity alone doesn't necessarily make a coin valuable. Value comes from a combination of factors: rarity, condition, and demand. In the case of the 1984 die crack quarter, all of these elements aligned perfectly. The rarity of this coin was undeniable. Out of the millions of quarters minted in 1984, only a small number were affected by the die crack. And even among these, finding one in good condition was no easy task. Coins with significant wear and tear, or those that had been in circulation for years, were much less likely to retain the die crack feature. As a result, only a handful of 1984 quarters were preserved in pristine condition, making them highly desirable to collectors. But let's take a moment to talk about condition, because this is where things get really interesting. A coin's value is often determined by its grade, which reflects how much wear or damage it has sustained over the years. Coins that have been in circulation for decades tend to be less valuable because they have been subjected to the everyday rigors of life: scratches, dents, and discoloration. However, coins that have been kept in pristine condition, away from the harsh elements, are far more valuable. In the case of the 1984 die crack quarter, the highest value coins were those that had been well preserved, often coming from proof sets or coins that had never seen the light of day outside a collector's safe. These coins were often graded by professionals using a scale that ranges from 1 to 70, with coins closer to 70 being in near-perfect condition. The most valuable 1984 quarters, those with the die crack, were the ones that had not only retained their mint condition but also displayed this rare flaw in a prominent way. It was around this time that serious collectors began to take notice of the 1984 quarter, and word quickly spread about the rarity and potential value of these coins. As demand for these rare quarters grew, so did their price. A coin that once would have been worth just 25 cents, merely a small, everyday piece of currency, was now becoming a sought-after treasure in the world of numismatics. So, how much are these rare 1984 die crack quarters worth today? Here's where the big reveal happens. The most valuable examples of the 1984 quarter, especially those in mint condition with the die crack, can now fetch an incredible $115,000. That's right, $115,000 for a quarter. Now, you may be wondering, how does a coin that's been in circulation for decades suddenly gain such immense value? The answer lies in the rarity of the die crack, the coin's condition, and the fervor with which collectors are always searching for unique and rare specimens. Over time, as fewer and fewer of these coins remained in circulation and as collectors hunted for them, the price kept climbing. Today, the 1984 die-crack quarter is one of the most valuable coins of its kind, sought after by those who know the incredible story behind it. But here's the twist: not every 1984 quarter is worth $115,000. The value of these coins depends on several factors, including the prominence of the die crack, the overall condition of the coin, and whether it's been professionally graded. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, you might just be holding a small fortune. But for most people, the 1984 quarter remains a reminder of the incredible world of coin collecting and the treasures that can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places. So, next time you come across a 1984 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Is there a die crack? Could this be the coin that you've been searching for? While the chances of finding a quarter worth $115,000 may be slim, the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and you never know what hidden treasure you might stumble upon. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a casual observer, the story of the 1984 USA $quarter coin serves as a reminder that sometimes, even the smallest and most ordinary things can hold a secret worth far more than meets the eye, and that's the magic of coin collecting, a journey that mixes history, rarity, and a little bit of luck to uncover treasures that span the centuries. The 1984 $quarter coin may have started out as just another piece of pocket change, but today, it's a symbol of how a small mistake can turn into something much, much bigger. It's easy to overlook a coin as small as a quarter. After all, we see them every day, tossing them into vending machines, using them for parking meters, or maybe even giving them as tips. But did you know that one particular quarter, minted in 1998, has a history and value that would leave even the most seasoned coin collector in awe? That's right, what once seemed like pocket change is now worth a staggering $104,000. How did a humble 1998 quarter become such a sought-after treasure? Well, this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. Let's rewind the clock to 1998, a year when the world was experiencing a great deal of change. The United States, under the leadership of President Bill Clinton, was in the midst of economic prosperity. The tech boom was transforming the global landscape, and companies like Google and eBay were just beginning to make their mark on the internet. It was a time of cultural shifts, technological advancements, and geopolitical changes. But while all this was unfolding on a global stage, something far smaller but just as significant was happening in the United States Mint. In 1998, the U.S. Mint was still operating under the long-standing tradition of issuing quarters that bore the likeness of George Washington, the first president of the United States. These Washington quarters had been in circulation since 1932, and while they were a familiar sight to American citizens, the late 1990s brought with it a desire to refresh and innovate American coinage. The U.S. Mint had recently started producing state quarters, a new program launched in 1999, which would honor each of the 50 states with a unique design. But before this program took off, the 1998 quarter would make its mark as a pivotal year in the history of American currency. At first glance, the 1998 quarter seems just like any other Washington quarter. On the obverse, we see George Washington's face, as designed by artist John Flanagan. His likeness has graced the quarter for decades, becoming a symbol of strength, leadership, and American history. Flanagan's design was timeless, and its popularity never waned. But what set the 1998 quarter apart wasn't its familiar design, it was a unique, rare error that would go unnoticed by most people but would have a major impact on the coin's value and legacy. The 1998 quarter, like many coins of the time, was minted in vast quantities by the United States Mint. These coins were struck at the Mint's facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and distributed across the country to fulfill the everyday needs of commerce. Most of the 1998 quarters were ordinary, circulating freely in pockets, piggy banks, and vending machines. However, there was one particularly rare version of the 1998 quarter that would go on to capture the attention of collectors, and eventually make headlines in the world of numismatics. This rare version of the 1998 quarter wasn't defined by its design or the materials used to create it. It wasn't anything fancy or flashy. It was, in fact, a mistake, a minting error that was so subtle that only the most meticulous of collectors would notice it. This error was caused by a problem with the coin's die, the tool used to stamp the design onto the metal. In some cases, the die had been misaligned, causing parts of the design to overlap or become doubled. The result? A 1998 quarter with a striking double die error, most notably on the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." At first glance, these coins might appear completely normal. But for collectors with a trained eye, the doubling on the date, particularly the 9 in 1998, was unmistakable. This small but significant flaw meant that the coin was much rarer than any ordinary 1998 quarter. And as collectors began to realize that this particular error existed, the coin started to gain attention in the world of numismatics. But why was this error so important? After all, many coins are struck with imperfections, and errors aren't exactly rare in the minting process. What made this particular 1998 quarter so valuable? The answer lies in its scarcity and its specific characteristics. Coins with double die errors are relatively rare, but what makes the 1998 quarter so sought after is the precise nature of the error. The doubling on the date and the inscriptions wasn't just a random smudge or blur, it was an intentional flaw that occurred during the minting process, giving it a unique, unmistakable appearance. As news of the 1998 double die error quarter spread throughout the numismatic community, collectors began scouring their collections and the market for these rare coins. Over time, as more and more of these coins were pulled from circulation and graded by professionals, the value of the 1998 double die error quarter began to rise dramatically. This wasn't just a rare coin, it was a coin that told a story, one of imperfection, discovery, and value. Now, the story of this coin's rise to fame doesn't end with the discovery of the error. As the value of the 1998 double die error quarter grew, so did the demand for it. Coin collectors, investors, and enthusiasts began to recognize the coin's rarity, and it quickly became one of the most coveted error coins of the late 20th century. Its value skyrocketed as collectors scrambled to get their hands on one of these special quarters. The real magic happened when these error coins began appearing at auctions. Coins that had once been valued at just 25 cents, merely a quarter, were now commanding prices that were many times higher. In fact, some of the highest graded examples of the 1998 double die error quarter have sold for as much as $104,000. That's right, $104,000 for a coin that was once just another piece of pocket change. So, how does a quarter go from being worth 25 cents to becoming a six-figure treasure? The answer lies in the coin's rarity, its error, and the intense demand among collectors. When a coin is as rare as the 1998 double die error quarter, and when its uniqueness is recognized by the collecting community, its value can increase exponentially. This is why rare error coins, such as the 1998 quarter, are highly sought after. They represent both a historical anomaly and an investment opportunity, but what makes the 1998 quarter so much more than just an error coin? It's about the story it tells. It's about the way this coin, which was struck during a time of immense change and growth in the United States, carries with it a piece of history. It reminds us that even the smallest imperfections can have a big impact, and that sometimes, even the most ordinary objects can be transformed into something extraordinary. So, what should you take away from this story? If you ever come across a 1998 quarter, take a moment to inspect it closely. Does it show signs of a double die error? If you find one of these rare coins, you could be holding a small fortune. While the vast majority of 1998 quarters are worth just their face value, those with the double die error could be worth a lot more than you think. It's a reminder that coin collecting isn't just about the coins themselves, it's about the journey, the discovery, and the stories that each coin tells. And in the case of the 1998 double die error quarter, that story is one of rarity, value, and the thrill of the hunt. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, and who knows? The next time you look at a quarter, you could be holding a piece of history, worth $104,000 or more. So next time you reach into your pocket or piggy bank, remember, that ordinary coin might just be the key to unlocking an extraordinary treasure. There are moments in history that pass by unnoticed, yet leave a lasting impact, even if we don't always realize it at the time. The 1999 USA $quarter coin is one of those seemingly simple objects that, while once thought to be just a part of everyday currency, has become a prized collector's treasure worth a staggering $102,000. How did a quarter, once used to buy a cup of coffee or pay for a bus ride, become so valuable? This is the captivating story of how a coin from 1999, with its historical significance and unique features, rose to fame and fortune in the world of numismatics. Let's take a step back to 1999, a year on the cusp of a new millennium. The world was buzzing with anticipation, unsure of what the new century would bring. The United States, under President Bill Clinton's administration, was in the middle of a period of prosperity. The internet was becoming an integral part of daily life, and the tech boom was in full swing. At the same time, on the other side of the world was preparing to usher in the year 2000, uncertain whether Y2K would cause a global crisis or pass quietly by. Amidst all these global events, something remarkable was happening closer to home. In the U.S. Mint. 1999 marked a special year for American coinage, one that would go down in history for a project that would change the face of the quarter forever. For the first time, the U.S. Mint began issuing state quarters as part of a 10-year program known as the 50 State Quarters Program. This initiative was created to honor each of the 50 states, one by one, with unique designs that reflected the history and culture of each state. The idea behind this was to generate public interest in coin collecting while celebrating the diverse heritage of the United States. While most of the quarters produced that year were part of this innovative program, there was something about the 1999 quarter that made it especially noteworthy. The very first state quarter to be released was from Delaware, and its debut marked the beginning of a wave of state-themed designs that would captivate coin collectors for years to come. However, not all the 1999 quarters were ordinary. Some were minted with an error, one that would make them highly sought after by numismatists and collectors around the world. The design of the 1999 Delaware State Quarter, which was the first in the series, depicted a colonial soldier and a Commonwealth emblem, paying homage to the state's historical significance in the formation of the United States. But alongside this beautiful new design came a subtle but significant mistake that would lead to a dramatic rise in the coin's value. This error, known as the missing mint mark error, occurred when some of the Delaware quarters were struck without the usual D mint mark that would indicate they were produced at the Denver Mint. Under normal circumstances, coins produced at different U.S. mint facilities are stamped with mint marks to distinguish where they were struck. The D mint mark, for example, designates coins produced at the Denver Mint, while P refers to coins from the Philadelphia Mint. In this case, a batch of Delaware state quarters was struck in Denver, but the mint mark failed to appear. This oversight created a rare error that would make the 1999 Delaware quarter incredibly valuable. The error was significant because it was so unexpected. At first, collectors didn't even realize that the mint mark had been omitted from some of the coins. But as awareness spread through the coin collecting community, the 1999 Delaware quarters without the D mint mark were suddenly considered one of the most valuable mistakes in modern coinage. The rarity of these missing mint mark coins, combined with their historical significance as part of the inaugural year of the state quarter program, made them highly coveted. As with all valuable coins, condition matters. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, free from wear and tear, are always worth more than those that have been circulated and damaged. This is especially true for error coins, which are often more valuable when they retain their original, unblemished appearance. Those who found the missing mint mark Delaware quarters in excellent condition were in for a rare windfall. collectors began to search far and wide for the 1999 Delaware quarters with the missing mint mark, leading to a frenzy in the numismatic community. It wasn't long before the prices of these rare error coins began to skyrocket. What had once been just another quarter, worth a mere 25 cents, was now in high demand, and its value continued to rise with each passing year. At its peak, a well-graded example of the 1999 Delaware missing mint mark quarter could fetch an astonishing $102,000. Now, you may be wondering, why such a high price for a coin that most people would have passed over without a second thought? It all comes down to rarity, historical context, and the demand for such an item in the world of coin collecting. Error coins, particularly those that are as rare and unique as this one, can be worth far more than their face value. The 1999 Delaware missing mint mark quarter is especially valuable because of the timing of its release. As the first coin in the state quarter program, it holds significant historical value. Adding to its allure is the fact that it's the first state to be honored in this groundbreaking series, making it a true gem in the eyes of collectors. The demand for these error coins is driven by their uniqueness. While the vast majority of Delaware quarters from 1999 were minted with the correct D mint mark, the few that were produced without it are now considered rare treasures. The fact that this error coin comes from the very first year of the 50-state quarters program only adds to its value. For collectors looking to complete their state quarter collections, having the 1999 Delaware missing mint mark coin is essential, and for those with the means to acquire it, it's an investment that could continue to pay off for years to come. But there's another reason this quarter has become so valuable. It's part of a larger trend in the world of coin collecting. The 1999 Delaware missing mint mark coin is part of a broader fascination with error coins, which have captured the attention of collectors for generations. These rare and unusual coins, often produced by mistake, can have a charm all their own. Collectors aren't just interested in coins with perfect designs, they're also drawn to the quirks and imperfections that make certain coins stand out from the rest. The 1999 Delaware quarter with the missing mint mark is a perfect example of this, and its rarity, combined with its historical significance, has ensured that it remains one of the most sought-after coins of its kind. So, what makes the 1999 Delaware missing mint mark quarter worth so much today? It's the combination of rarity, historical significance, and demand in the marketplace. While most 1999 Delaware state quarters are worth just a few quarters, those with the missing mint mark are now valued at up to $102,000. This remarkable increase in value is a testament to the exciting world of coin collecting, where a seemingly insignificant error can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. If you ever find yourself with a 1999 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Could it be one of the rare 1999 Delaware quarters with the missing mint mark? While it may not always be easy to spot these error coins, knowing what to look for could change the way you view your pocket change. What might seem like just another quarter might just be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. This story of the 1999 Delaware quarter is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises. What seems like an ordinary piece of currency can, over time, become a valuable and highly sought-after item. The 1999 Delaware missing mint mark quarter stands as a reminder that sometimes, the smallest of mistakes can have the greatest rewards, and in the case of this rare coin, it's a reminder that even the most everyday objects can become extraordinary treasures.